and cheating. So I felt like I was somewhere between a cliff and a 100-meter drop. After the shock of what happened, my life ending, or at least me feeling that way, I was caught in this post-relationship limbo that I badly needed to get out of. I demanded to know why. I shed tears that I never even knew I was capable of, and I had zero energy days where I would just stare dumbly into space. These unwelcome intrusions almost drove me insane, literally. But I thought I had to get out of it. And the thing is, you can. Every one of us, no matter how, what situation or what heartbreak we are in, goes through a grieving process. And there are stages of that grieving process. And the first stage that I went through was a stage of denial. This happens because for us, when we experience some sort of loss, we don't really accept it right away. In my case, I thought I still had a chance of getting things fixed. But after a couple of days when nothing really got fixed, I then went on, or that led me onto stage 2, which was a stage of bargaining. In this stage, we try to make excuses and we try to make compromises. I desperately tried to hold on to something, even though my better judgment told me it was futile and irresponsible. For me, asking someone to explain why they can't, or won't, or don't love you is like asking someone to explain why the wind blows. This stage would ultimately lead to rejection. And then when you get rejected, you get depressed, which is the next stage. For me, this was the hardest and the longest stage that I had to go through. My days were spent alternating between crying and near catatonic behavior. I was an emotional vampire to my friends that I just sucked the happiness out of them, and they just couldn't bear to be with me anymore. But then one day, after crying buckets of tears, the sadness just suddenly went away and was replaced with the next stage, which was anger. After the trauma of having my heart broken, pure, unadulterated anger suddenly set in. Revenge scenarios played in my head, like me imagining him being run over by a 10-wheeler, or like me meeting him at the mall, but then I'd have a new, very handsome boyfriend with me. So the trick at this stage would be for you not to let the anger take precedence in your heart and consume you. Because eventually, that anger will subside and fade away. This might take a gradual amount of time, but this will happen, and slowly you will go into the acceptance phase, or stage. This was the stage where I was most tranquil and peaceful, and where I had decided to move on with my life and just live. I chalked the bad parts of the relationship into lessons learned, and the good parts into trinkets of the past. And before I knew it, life had moved on, and so had I. I never thought that I would get out of that horrible limbo, but I did. It took a lot of things for me to do, like I had to move to another city, I ate gallons of ice cream and comfort food, I went shopping, although now in hindsight, I do recommend that until emotionally stabilized, do not enter a store. I also had makeovers because I believe that, hey, even though beauty is only skin deep and that true beauty might lie in the soul, it doesn't hurt to have your outsides looking good when your insides are badly bruised and your self-esteem has been crushed to death. So I had to go through a lot of stuff and had to go through the grieving process, but you will, no matter how long, will get over it, and time will tell. Sometimes, when you're having difficulty coming to terms with something difficult, all you need to do is take a step back and look at the situation and a bigger picture of the situation. Just remember that it begins with knowing that you can have fun again and that you can love again. So when you do find yourself in a loss or in a heartbreak or you're heartbroken, remember that love is never sought in the people around you. That magic simply lives inside of you. So believe, live, laugh, love, get up, and start over.